Hello students, our today's topic is Chapter 6 from Unit 1 Into the Wild. The writer's name is Kiran Purandare. He was born in 1961. In this video I have covered Part 1 of the chapter. The excerpt has been taken from the book Sakha Nagzira by Kiran Purandare, who is a wildlife expert, a bird watcher, a writer and honorary wildlife warden in Maharashtra. The excerpt is an amazing experience of the writer where he is alone and completely lost in the jungles of Umbarzara. So let us begin with part 1, that is where the writer was lost in the jungle. So the story begins like this. The narrator is a wildlife expert. He came into the forest of Umbarzara. After he researched in the forest, he is walking towards Pitezari village where he was stationed. The narrator tells us that he was walking into the dense forest all alone, going towards Pitezari village after the day's research. He also says that when we walk in a jungle and that too all alone is so fearsome. Yes, if you have a companion, then you feel relaxed, but when we are all alone, we have to be alert. He says that he was walking alone like a fox. He is comparing himself to the foxes, because foxes are solitary creatures. That means the creatures who are roaming here and there all alone. They move around and hunt alone. In the same way, the narrator was alone. He had come to the forest alone to do his research, and now he was going back to the village all alone. Hence he compares himself to a fox. The writer says that when he was walking on the trail silently with the wide open eyes, he heard variety of sounds. That means different types of sounds. All of a sudden, he heard a familiar sound. Kyak, kyak, kyak. It was a langur alarm call. The leader of the gang of langur, who was sitting on a tall tree, was making an alarm call out of fear for life. Rest of the langur brigade also continued the same alarm calls. This alarm was due to the presence of the apex predator, that is, leopard. After listening to all these alarms, the narrator also became alert. He scanned the area, took some steps, and stopped again and again. He walked on the same trail. He then saw a fresh scat, that was animal dropping. Bluish purple flies were hovering over it. The narrator understood and was sure that there was a leopard nearby, but it was not visible to him. Still he continues walking his trail. But because of the fading alarm calls, he could make out that the leopard had moved away. Meanwhile, the narrator saw a man at a distance with a stick in his hand, and he came to know that this man, whose name was Raju Iskape from Pitezari village, too was scared due to the alarm calls of leopard. They both greeted each other. They talked with each other, and Raju was very glad to know that the narrator always made solitary visits to forest of Umbarzara. Solitary means alone. Umbarzara was the heaven for tiger, leopards and sloth bears. After that they both resumed their walking. Then they stopped under a kusum tree to a break. They both felt a bit relaxed. Now they both were 4 eyes, 4 hands with a stick, because now they are together, and they felt relaxed because they were not alone. Then both of them walked towards their way. There was one tiny track that broke out of the main. Then Raju said that I will take this route and you go straight. Then Raju turned towards right. The narrator kept walking straight until he saw a mahua tree loaded with reddish brown leaves, as you can see on the screen. Now again the narrator was all alone in the forest. As he resumed his walk, he thought instantly, "Oh, I had lost my way." Now he thought that he should go back again from where he came, because he could not find the way. He turned back to spot the sun, but he could see that the time was running. It was evening now. The narrator feared that he would be lost in the forest, Soon it will be dark. He was not sure he would be secured. The narrator was soaked in his own sweat. He wanted to shout to his heart's content, but could not do that, because there was no one in the forest who could listen to his voice. He had a shabnam bag and a tiffin in it with some stuff to eat, but he didn't want it to eat. When he went ahead, he saw the animal dropping of Sloth Bear of Umbarzara. He was scared again that there is a sloth bear nearby, and he became aware and thought to walk cautiously. The narrator suddenly started running the hillocks at a frantic speed. The evening breeze flew through his sweaty, wet hair. His stomach was paining. After taking 50 steps, he saw the marks of a bicycle wheel on the trail and thought there must be a village nearby. There were so many questions arising in his mind, like how far is the village and where, in which direction, and still he walked ahead. Now, when he climbed one more hillock, he tried to locate the signs of human civilization. His legs were trembling. As he reached the top of the hill, he jumped with joy. He heard the sounds of people talking in the loudspeaker. He saw the tiny, sleepy village of Pitezari. This loudspeaker was installed for Keshav Bhalavi's marriage. It was very familiar spot for him. He reached home and took bath. Still his legs were trembling. He ate food and slumped into the cot. Lying on the bed, he spoke to himself. There still exists a jungle where we can get lost. Isn't this our good luck? Now students, what do this mean? As we all know that human beings have tried to take over all the natural areas of the world. We have encroached on jungles and forests and our human inhabitations within the jungles too. To find a jungle where there is no sign of human life and one can still get lost shows that there are some areas untouched by humans and left to nature. This is what the writer called our good luck. I hope the story is clear to you all. Part 2 will be explained in the next video.